All right, I decided I wanted to do this one as an example. So I'm going to do 4 for you. So a person's blood pressure oscillates, meaning it goes between 160 and 60. If the heart beats once every second, or the heart fills with blood, empties, and fills again, write a sinusoidal function that models a person's blood pressure. Assume the pressure is highest at t equals 0. So I'm going to start with a graph because that's how I kind of operate best. So I know the minimum is 60 and the maximum is 160. And then it says every 1 second. So I know it's going to take 1 second to make one round. And then it says the pressure is highest at t equals 0. So I know I'm going to be at the top at 0. Then I'm going to be at the top again. I haven't traced out my midline. I don't know what it is yet, but I can put it in there. So then it'll go halfway between, which would be 0.5 seconds, or half of a second. I would be at the bottom. Then halfway in between there, quarter of a second. And 3/4 of a second, I'll be in the middle. And so I'm going to draw my function in here. What else do I know? I know that the difference here is 100, so my amplitude must be 50, because that's half of 100. So A equals 50. I also know my period equals 1 second. Let's see, my midline then, 160 minus 50 would put me at y equals 110, or I could do 60 plus 50. So that's my vertical shift would be up 110. Because this starts at the top, I'm going to write a cosine function, and then there's no phase shift because of that. If you decide to write a different, function, then it might be different than me. So I'm going to go with sine. You can choose. So y equals, amplitude comes next. Oops, I only wrote 5 here. 50. Then I'm going to use cosine. And I'm going to use, I guess they use t for, because they said t equals 0. So time equals, this is our time. This is our BP. So instead of y, I guess I could also use blood pressure equals BP equals 50 cosine t. And then there's no phase shift for this, so I'm going to just go plus my midline, which is 110. If you wanted to write a different function, I believe that you could do that using sine. That would have a phase shift, or negative cosine would also have a phase shift. So it says, what is the blood pressure at 2.25 seconds? And I kind of ran out of room to extend mine, but if you wanted to extend your graph, you could. I'm just going to know that after 2 seconds, I'm going to be back here at the top, and so then 2.25 would be here right at my midline. The blood pressure at 2.25 seconds would be 110. And then it says, what is the blood pressure at 5.56 seconds? So this is going to be my time. And 5.6 isn't on my graph. So what you're going to plug in is 50 cosine 5.56 plus 110, and then get out an answer. So there's example 4.